Hello, hello, welcome back to Wheel of Games. Today we are going to be playing more Mansions of Madness. Last time we had Rita and her butler Sinclair went to Innsmouth to investigate the Marsh family, and they did not make it back. So we're going to have to start with some new characters today, and I'm going to try the same thing again. So who we're going to be playing with today, we have Agatha Crane and Lily Chen. Agatha Crane, the parapsychologist. After you resolve a horror check, gain one clue. And an expert in lore, but very poor strength abilities. Then we have Lily Chen, who has very middling stats all the way around, excels a bit in the strength and strength departments, but not expert like Rita was. And while attacking unarmed, if a monster would suffer one or more damage, it suffers 2 additional damage. And yeah, we've got someone who's really good at the mental pursuits and another person who is pretty good all around at the physical stuff. And we are ready to start. Okay, back to the escape from Innsmouth. And Agatha Crane and Lily. Now for our starting items. So we've got 2 spells, 3 common items, and 2 unique items. I'll grab those and we'll show off what they are in just a sec. Okay, I've gotten out the specified cards. So the oil lamp is a light source. They're giving us a light source at the start. The old journal, evidence. The journal entry in the culprit's own handwriting is practically a confession. Then we got 2 spells. Flesh Ward is not an offensive spell. Action, you or another investigator within range discard 1 damage, then flip the card. I'm giving all of those things to Agatha, I think. Agatha is more of the investigator side. We have a magnifying glass. Roll 1 additional die while resolving an observation check. Well, again, Agatha is the investigator side, so Agatha's going to get that. We have a razor, a bladed weapon that has a weapon score of 1, or I suppose damage potential of 1, and you can suffer a damage to convert a clue result to a success when attacking with this weapon. Well, I'll give it to Agatha. Not a great one, but at least Agatha will have something to defend herself with. And we have Sensible Shoes, which you roll 1 additional die when doing an agility test. And our agility person who gets the Sensible Shoes is Lily Chen. The other spell that we got is Poison Mist. You can attack a monster in an adjacent space with this card. And when I saw it, I looked up what it actually, what counts as adjacent, and spaces are adjacent if through doors. So we could stay just out of sight, perhaps, and take a shot through the door. But that means Agatha has practically every spell here, almost every item that I've picked out for everyone. But I'm not sure there's any one thing that I want Lily to have. Lily is the woman of action who I really want fighting, or assisting with those other tasks. Planning to keep them together. And one more thing, I love those little color indicators that came with Zombicide so much, I'm using them yet again. So Lily clearly has a red dress on. So we've got the red one for Lily. And Agatha, because she gets clues after horror checks, I figured green is the color of clues, and so Agatha is in green. Now we are ready to begin the investigation. Oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear, and the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. Now they get to talk.
A strange feeling crawls across your skin as you step off the bus into the small Massachusetts town of Innsmouth. Everywhere you go, you can feel the gaze of the locals' unblinking, watery eyes on your back. In every alleyway, on every street corner, you can feel the presence of the stooped, pallid residents following you, watching from a distance. You came to the coastal town at the behest of Professor Harris, a mutual friend, who asked you to gather information on the lineage of the Marsh family. However, after only half a day walking the streets of Innsmouth, all you can think about is leaving the town and its unnerving residents far behind you. You check both the bus and the train, but strangely, both have stopped running. As the sun begins to set, you come to a frightening realization. You are trapped in Innsmouth. You rent an hotel room under a false name and resolve to hole up until morning. With the door to your room securely latched, you're finally safe from the prying eyes of the locals. Or so you think.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. And the hotel you found is a ratty hole in the wall on the back streets near the shore of the town. Place Street 2 as indicated. I've got a lot of these tiles already close to hand. Okay, there we go. Okay, outside the hotel, the street stretches up the hill toward the center of town. Place a site token, as indicated. Off to the right. The street continues to the east, past a storefront. Place a site token, as indicated. That storefront seemed very, very important after the last episode. And to the west, the street narrows into an alley that stretches along the side of the hotel. Place a site token. Dim light fills the tiny hotel's interior hall. The hotel has only 2 rooms for rent. Not much of a hotel, but small town. Small insular town. Place the interior hall tile, a door, and a wall as indicated. And there we go. 3 other doors lead out of the hall. 1 door leads to a side alley, and the other 2 are marked number 1 and number 2. Okay, you check your room key, you'll be staying in room number 1. You cram into your room and find it furnished by a lone bed with threadbare sheets and a bookshelf that holds 2 yellowing tomes. Letting the situation sink in, you pace nervously around the confines of the small room. Place your investigators, as indicated. Moonlight spills in through a dingy window looking out toward the docks. Place a search token, as indicated. You glance over what little research you have managed to gather on the Marsh family thus far. The investigator holding the old journal can review the gathered evidence by interacting with it in the app. Everyone in the room jumps as you hear the sound of the door handle jiggling. Someone outside is trying to open the locked door. Place an explorer token. Your eyes dart around the room, stopping at the only other door, which leads to the back hall and bathroom of the hotel. Place an explorer token as indicated. Here we go, turn number 1. It's a good thing we're in room number 1. Room number 2 has no other way out, and it sucks if they have to go to the bathroom, I guess. Someone is clearly after us. Let's see, we're not particularly influence-oriented, so trying to talk to them won't make a huge amount. We could barricade the door, but that's just going to guarantee a fight later. We have someone who can kick butt, hopefully. Let's give this a try. And of course it's a strength check. At least it's not Agatha doing this. So here we go. Strength for Lily is 4. Oh, I thought it was only 3. Oh, okay, so she should be good at this then. And we've got clues right now to help us. Last one missed, but we got... Okay, well, we got 1 success. That's not great. It's our roll, though. You slam into the door with only enough force to break the lock and hurt your shoulder. Suffer 1 face-down damage. Ooh. The person on the other side opens the door, and you see from his sallow skin and large, unblinking eyes that he is one of the locals. Discard this Explore token and spawn a Deep 1 hybrid as indicated. So after last time, I realized that I put the 3D figures on when I'm using a pretty much strictly overhead camera, and I've got these nice picture tiles. So I'm just going to use the tiles instead now. The Deep 1 hybrid moves 1 space into the small bedroom. It has come in with us this time. Okay, so we didn't get to leave the room, but we are still together with it now. Lily is going to attack it unarmed then. You unleash a flurry of quick punches, hoping enough of them will hit to make a difference. Agility check. We need a 2 to pass. So Lily, thanks to the sensible shoes, has agility 5. And we got all clue markers. Well, I need 2 to pass. It sucks to spend my clues immediately, but we got 2 successes from that. So if you pass, you catch your foe a number of times in the chest and stomach, and it doubles over in pain. It suffers damage equal to your test result plus 1. So our test result was 2, it goes up to 3, and Lily's special ability inflicts 2 additional damage with unarmed strikes, which means we're up to 5, but we need 1 more damage. So it's not done yet. And now Lily is done with her turn because Explore action was the first one, and it failed to do any damage. So Agatha goes. Agatha, her attack spell is Poison Mist. That sounds like a bad idea when we're in the same room with them. So now I'm very glad I gave Agatha the backup weapon of the razor, the bladed weapon. I'm just hoping it's not a strength check. So Agatha is attacking with a razor. As you approach, your foe lashes out at you. You sidestep the strike and slash at the outstretched limb. Agility check of 3. Agatha has 3 agility, so I need 2 to pass the test. And I got 1. If you fail, the limb quickly snaps back out of reach. I can try it again. I feel like I pretty much need to try it again. Spending a lot of actions on this first deep one hybrid. Hello, kitty. Yep, that's your seat. Agatha is going to attack again. The razor can convert a clue result to a success, but that last attack roll only had 1 success and blanks. You clasp your blade firmly and swing in a wide arc. Agility test of 2 again. Okay, well, we got a success and a clue symbol, but I'm just going to spend a clue, not suffer a damage, to pass this with result of 2. You slice into the foe. It suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage plus your test result. So that's a total of 3. So Agatha just slit the throat of the Deep One hybrid. Good going, Agatha. Your attacker collapses onto the floor. As he falls, something clatters from his stubby webbed fingers. Place the cult sigil unique items in the space with Lily and Agatha. And the Deep One hybrid is gone. Well, it took our entire investigator phase to do it, but we at least handled the Deep One hybrid. Now it's time to go to the Mythos phase. What was that scratching sound? No immediate effect. Okay, went easy on us round 1. I think that might always happen, but if we remember last time, we need to escape from Innsmouth, we need to escape something. This time, just to see how much of a difference which direction you go with 2 characters makes, I'm going to go out the east side into the back hall with the bathroom this time, and just investigate from that side going forward. I do want to pick up the sigil. It's evidence, and it doesn't seem like a combat thing, so I think I want Agatha to have it. So Agatha's turn is probably going to be investigating the window and doing a trade action to grab the cult sigil. Lily's probably going to go through the door, so I want to do the spell while she's still here. So each spell, there are 5 copies. Normally, when you gain a spell, you randomly select one of them, you play it, then you flip it over after you've resolved the thing. I like to just use a d6 when I do the spell, and then it's just from the top. That's the instance of the spell you get. So number 4 is Flesh Ward on Lily. So, action. You or another investigator within range, discard 1 damage, then flip this card. So Lily is back up to full health, and we never found out what the damage was that she got. But we then flip that card. And an echo of the spell passes through you. Okay, so this is a lore check, which is Agatha's best stat. Boy, it's a difficulty of 3. Haven't looked at the rest of the card yet. Ooh, wow, 3 successes and 2 clue results. We easily passed. If you patch, you latch onto the echo and cast it again. Also discard 1 damage. If you fail, lose your concentration, suffer a face-down horror. Then discard this and gain another Flesh Ward spell. So we actually could have had an extra heal for ourselves on that one. That's nice. And now second action, I think I want to peek out the window. Agatha's going to be in this room for another round. A dingy window looks out over the docks. How does it look out over the docks when we're on street level? I guess it's like a downhill slope or something. But still, we have reason to believe that there is more building right there, so how could we look out over it? But clearly this is just all very sloped from high ground down to low ground. Okay, we're going to look out the window. You struggle to see through the dense fog, but you believe you see a small fishing boat out in the bay. as long as the captain of that boat is not in league with the locals. That could be your ticket out of this town. You will need to find a way to contact the boat. Gain 1 clue, then discard this search token. So Agatha is back up to 2 clues again. Her turn is done. Now Lily is going to go through this door. The second door to your room leads to the hotel's back hall and shared bathroom. Behind your hotel room, a cramped hallway leads to the hotel's public bathroom. Place the bathroom tile as indicated and discard all Explore tokens leading to it. Also nearby, an end table sits in the corner of the hall. Place a search token. A worn door leads into the shared bathroom. Place an Explore token. And opposite the bathroom is a heavy door marked Henderson's. Place an Explore token. You may move 1 space into the area. So Lily is into the next room. We can inspect this tokens for free. It's just the Explore, so that costs an action. A worn door leads to the bathroom. And the big door. You try the door, but the store is closed and the door is locked. After a moment, you hear a voice from the other side say, "Password?" You can check the unique item for a password if you have it. Well, it's still in the other room with Agatha. I'm kind of tempted to force my way in, but this is the last action of a round. I keep saying it with Zombicide, Deep Rock Galactic. Try not to bust open a new room as the last action of a turn. So I want that, but we're not in the position to do that right at this moment. There might be stuff in the bathroom. Let's see, Lily's observation is 3. It's not great, but it's not a horrible waste if Lily can get this observation check done. So I assume it's an observation. You're probably searching. No, okay. You dig through the contents of the drawers, looking for anything out of place. This is a lore check. Well, Lily's lowest stat is a 3, so not too bad. And we got 1 clue result, which is no good because Lily has no clues. You find nothing but a bunch of boring papers. Guess that's going to be Agatha's thing to do. They are both done. It's time for our next mythos phase. You suddenly notice the sound of crickets has stopped, leaving only unnerving silence. No immediate effect. But you hear the sound of approaching voices. Outside the hotel, a small mob of shambling locals is beginning to gather. They shout words of some indecipherable language at the hotel. Something tells you they are here for you. Discard the site token to the south. Of the street 2, spawn the riot as indicated. This is the Innsmouth mob. It does not activate this round. Let's see, do I have a mob token? Yeah, it's a riot token. More people from the town continue to join the ever-growing mob. Fighting so many people will prove difficult. It sure will. You better escape them. Each investigator must resolve a horror check. There are no monsters within range. The doors block range, so the riot is not going to cause us any horror. So when we look... No, I don't want horror checks. Okay, let's end the mythos phase and then we can inspect. We can inspect this riot. Now they've got some pretty hefty stats. Awareness of 7. Seems like it will be difficult to escape their notice if you're trying to escape their space. Horror level of 4. And if you're trying to push them, their physical rating is 4, which that would be amazing if you could single-handedly push a mob. But in terms of game mechanics, maybe that's possible. But the riot is outside. And for once, I have not revealed any of the other outside tiles yet. I went further into the hotel. So it's very curious what's going to happen. Will the riot actually reveal the tiles? Both of the other games I ended up running away from the riot right in front of it, which was a pain. Okay, so here we all are over in the bathroom area. Agatha will pick up the cult sigil in a trade action, and put it with our little evidence pile. And then we'll do a move action, which tragically won't let us go in. You know what, I'm going to reverse the order here. Let's have Lily go first. If Lily reveals this room, then Agatha can pick it up and do a full move into the next room. So we're going to have Lily actually go first. Just force their way in. Take a step back and kick the door as hard as you can. So at a -1, this is a test of 3. Probably going to upset whoever's on the other side of this door. All zeros. Off to another wild start. Your kick bounces off the door and you fall to the ground, suffer a face-down damage. A moment later, you hear the click of a deadbolt and the door opens. Well, it worked. The back area of the store is cluttered with boxes and crates. Place the storefront as indicated and discard all explore and sight tokens leading to it. Guess I have sort of accidentally revealed street, because that tile is both street and inside. So what's in here? Uh-oh. Figure who opened the door holds a long dagger. Spawn a cultist as indicated. Well, I just cannot deal with doors today. We've got a cultist. An old radio sits behind the front counter, quietly hissing static. Is this a walkie-talkie radio, or is this a listening to music radio? It's a very important difference. Among the oddities, a box on display on the front counter catches your interest. Place a search token. What else? You notice a fire extinguisher. Place the fire extinguisher common item as indicated. And in a prominent glass case in the corner, a bizarre statue is on display. Place a search token as indicated. A small but heavy shelf stands near the door. Could use it to fortify the store should the need arise. Outside the store, an alley leading off the street wraps around the building. So we've got our left and right alleys pretty much set up here. You may move. Oh, okay. I do still get to move one space into the explored area. I thought maybe the cultist was going to join me again. Okay, so Lily, let's see if you can kick a simple cultist's butt, unarmed. You challenge your enemy to fisticuffs. Your foe pauses, sizing you up. This is an influence check, which for Lily is a 3. Which I'll use the other 2 dice. Okay, 1 success and a clue, but we have no clues. Oh wait, roll 2 extra dice if you've suffered 3 or more damage. No. So we have failed because we only got 1 success. Wow. Okay. If you fail, your incoming fist is slapped bemusedly aside. Okay, Lily is not martial arting very strongly today. It's not going well. Now, Agatha, we do still need the cult sigil item. We need to pick it up to have it in our possession. Although I don't think the app really knows that we've picked it up. I wonder if it's actually necessary. There's nothing in the inventory here that indicates that it knows you've picked it up. Use the trade action to pick up the cult sigil versus just leaving it sitting there the entire game. I don't think it makes a difference. I don't think I want to spend an action picking up the sigil. And then watch, it's going to show up again at the very last moment in the scenario. But the only thing I really think we could have used it for was getting through that door in a friendly manner. And that's out the window. I still haven't seen what happens if you actually have enough evidence. Like, if enough has been revealed, if it may say if your characters possess the evidence. So I still think I need to pick it up. Okay, we're going to pick up the cult sigil. I feel like I would be using information I shouldn't know, or just gaming the game if I didn't pick it up. So Agatha is going... Do I want them to join Lily with the... Honestly, simply being in the same room as the cultist and doing a horror check, which she is very good at, will give us more clues, which we can use to solve puzzles and pass tests. So I actually want Agatha to be in that room to suffer the horror check and hopefully not get hit. So, we picked up the thing and we moved into the room. We're done. Time to get to our mythos phase. A loose, fluttering page covered in barely legible text catches Lily Chen's eye. Unable to resist, she reads. She then suffers 2 face-down horror negated by lore. Then flip 1 horror face up. Okay, well, her lore is 3. So, yeah, we don't want this. And I got 1 success. So we gain 1 face-down horror. And then we are immediately going to flip it face up. And we have anxiety. Your worries are overwhelming. What can one person do against so much evil? Resolve immediately. You become stressed and then discard this card. So that discards. I'm just putting it on the bottom. And the stressed status condition. After rerolling and converting dice results while resolving a test, you must remove 1 success from your dice pool. At the end of your turn, discard this card. So she's just immediately discarding a success on her next round. Okay, the mob of angry locals moves out of sight. Remove them from the board. They don't reveal it. They simply continue on without us knowing where they are. That's neat. The cultist moves 2 spaces, doesn't need to, and it attacks the one who has suffered the most damage. That is Lily. The cultist utters a low incantation. A strange, foul-smelling mist forms in the air. Observation check of 2, and Lily has 3 observation, but the stressed is in effect, so she has to lose 1. She's almost certainly failing. Yeah, didn't even get 1, so we're at -1 successes. If you fail, your old wounds reopen and fester and your vision fades. Flip 2 damage face up and become dazed. So we only have the 1 damage. It was a minor injury. No additional effect, just flip it back face down. But we do become dazed, so we're dazed and stressed. Let's see, dazed means you cannot spend clues to convert dice results or get additional puzzle steps. Discard at the end of the turn. Lily doesn't have a clue, so dazed means nothing to us this turn. Each investigator must resolve a horror check against the monster. Yeah, within range, so they're each going to resolve a horror check against the cultist. Lily first. Cultist whispers a message that only you can hear. Your friends seek to slay you. Okay? Will check. We only need 1 to pass. Lily has a will of 4. This is something they're both good at. Have a will of 4. But we do... No. Nothing on the dice. Nothing whatsoever. So we subtract 1 from that, we get a -1 again. Okay, each other investigator in your space suffers 1 face-down damage. Agatha got hit by Lily. Lily is a net negative so far in this scenario. Okay, now Agatha does the cultist horror check. The cultist exclaims the truth of a present and imminent horror. Suffer 2 face-down horror, but will +1 negates, so we've got 5 will. Can we get any successes during this game? 3. Okay, we have negated all of the face-down horror, and Agatha's special ability, after a horror check, gains a clue. And that's it for our Mythos phase. We're back to the investigator side. We're still both in the space with this pesky cultist. Maybe I could pick up the fire extinguisher and use a heavy weapon, but we want our martial artist to do the thing. Yeah, I'm still going to have to discard a success from whatever she does this turn anyway. She's just going to double unarmed attack on this cultist. So Lily, unarmed attack. You throw a low punch at your foe's gut, and as the figure curls over to avoid it, you swing your other fist towards the exposed head. Strength check of 2. We have a strength of 4. 1 success and a clue, so we have failed yet again because we're dropped down to 0 successes. If you fail, your offhand swing lacks the necessary strength and control. Do it again. Oh, you challenge your enemy to fisticuffs. It's an influence check here. Influence is 3, and we need 2 to pass. Unlikely. But we got it. We finally got all 3 successes on here somehow on something we could only do with successes. If you pass, you take advantage of the momentary confusion and deliver a powerful swing to the head. The monster suffers damage equal to your test result. Now, technically it's only 2 because of that stressed thing. And if you fail, your incoming fist is slapped bemusedly aside. Okay, so 2 damage from the test result and 2 more for Lily being an unarmed dynamo. So the cultist survived Lily's turn, but at least did take some damage. Now it is Agatha's turn. I feel like the razor is still what we should be trying to use here. I don't want her attacking with a fire extinguisher. But no, we're attacking with the bladed weapon, the razor. Your foe catches your stab and you struggled. Wow, it's a strength check of 2. You only have 2 strength. Come on. Yeah, we didn't pass that. Only 1 clue result, and if you fail, the figure twists your wrist and manages to jab you with your own weapon. Suffer a damage. Agatha, I'm tempted to just use that poison mist attack. It has a damage rating of 3, but I know it's going to just hurt everyone in the space. But we can't do much of anything with the rolls we're getting with everyone else. You know what? Razor again. Attack with bladed weapon. Agatha, come on. Your foe catches the stab and you struggle to push the blade the final few inches. Okay, this is an agility check. 3 agility, we need 2. We've got plenty of clues. Well, we're going to need them because we got all 3 clue results on these dice. So I only need 2 to pass. If you pass the sharp edge, they suffer damage equal to the weapon's damage. The weapon's damage is only 1. We're not going to finish off the cultist anyway. But we don't want to fail because we'll suffer even more damage, and Agatha is not very tough. So we have to spend 2 clues to not suffer damage. We deal 1 damage. Cultist is still alive. We spent an entire round failing to kill a cultist. This is pathetic. Time for the Mythos phase. Agatha Crane has lost her way, suddenly desperate for a familiar landmark or clue to her location. Suffers 2 face-down horror negated by observation. Then flip 2 horror face up. Well, her observation is increased thanks to the magnifying glass. We've got a full 5. And we got 3 successes outright, so we've negated all of it. And she has no horror to flip face up. Okay, the cultist moves 2 spaces. Don't need to. The one who has suffered the least damage. Well, I guess that's Lily, because Agatha has 2 damage now. The bale hand darts out from under the cultist's cloak and grabs your neck. You claw at the hand as it squeezes down. Suffer 2 damage. Strength -1 negates. Strength is 4 -1. So we rolled the 3 dice. We got 1 success and can't use anything with the clues. So we suffered 1 damage to Lily. Each investigator must resolve a horror check now. So they're each going after the cultist again. Let's do Lily first. The cultist laughs a deep, joyous laugh. The sound echoes all around you. A will test of 1. So we need, well, will is 4. So what do we got? We did get 1 success. Okay, if you passed, you can't fathom what would be so funny. And now, Agatha. The cultist snickers and you realize you have stepped within a glyph etched into the ground. It glows red as you study the symbols. Suffer 1 face-down damage and 1 face-down horror. Lore +1 negates. Well, her lore is 5, so we get to re-roll a die, basically. Wow. 1 success and the 3 magnifying glasses. Let's roll the other one to see if we... Okay, 1 success and 4 magnifying glasses. I guess we're just going to spend the magnifying glass, and then afterwards, because we passed, well, Agatha Crane is going to get a clue back, because she gets clues back after horror checks. So, we are done again. Our pitched battle with a single cultist continues. Okay, Lily, let's see if your unarmed abilities are any more effective on this round. Unarmed attack. Your enemy's attacks are quick and relentless. You focus on evading the strikes and search for an opening to begin your counterattack. Observation, which is only 3. That's true, at least the dazed and stress did go away at the end of the last turn, so we don't have the minus anymore. Forgot to remove the cards, but... Okay, 3 observation. And they're all clue results, and we have no clues. If you fail, it takes all your energy and focus to avoid getting hit. Cool, Lily has failed again. Lily, do something. As your foe lunges towards you, you kick at its legs, hoping to knock it to the ground before its attack connects. Agility check of 2. We got 5 dice here. Okay, 3 successes and a clue result. You catch its knee, and with an audible crack, your enemy's leg gives way, granting you a brief respite to continue your next move. Monster suffers damage equal to your test result, then become focused. Oh, so we become focused. So damage equal to the test result was a full 3. We add 2 more because Lily is Lily. So the cultist is down. As the store owner crumbles to the ground, the dagger falls from her hand with a clatter. Place the ritual dagger, common item, in the cultist's space. The ritual dagger is a very, very cool card. Okay, I still need to explain what focused is, too. So, well, the ritual dagger, bladed weapon of 1, but if you possess it, roll 1 additional die while casting a spell. Well, we just want Agatha to end up picking that up. And close that drawer now. So the focused status is something that you can hold on to, and you can discard the focused status to convert all clues to successes while resolving a test. Lily has no clues. She absolutely needs that. Needs that ability there. Lily finally has defeated the cultist after like 5 attacks. Good job, Lily. Now let's keep Agatha's up next. So we definitely want to do a trade action. Let's just pick up all of this stuff. Ritual dagger goes to Agatha. Razor's still a slightly better attack weapon. And we can pick up and just give the fire extinguisher to Lily. If there's fire to be fought, Lily is the woman of action to be fighting it. Next up, after we've done the trade action, let's see, Agatha is better at searching. Neither of them are better at influence, so I guess we'll leave Lily to do that. So Agatha is going to look at the box. Wooden box with sliding panels on its surface sits on the counter. You take the box with you. Perhaps if you can solve the puzzle, the box will open. Gain the puzzle box unique item, then discard this search token. The investigator holding the puzzle box can attempt to open it by interacting with it in the app. So Agatha has the puzzle box is equipment. But that's all of her actions. Let's get into this mythos phase. Okay, the light dies slowly. Place darkness in each space in the storefront. This mythos event affects each investigator in the storefront. Well, fortunately, because Agatha does possess the light source, the oil lamp, we can ignore darkness in her space and adjacent spaces. Okay, but each investigator in the storefront, which is... yeah, it's both of us. It's not separated by... Okay, in the dark, you hear a strange sound as if someone is being strangled. You fear you will soon feel cold limbs around your own neck. Suffer 2 face-down horror, negated by will. Okay, that's 4 dice for each of them. Agatha first. Yeah, this isn't a horror check. 2 successes. Okay, she's fine. And Lily. 2 clue results. I can use my focus to immediately turn those both into successes. And goodbye focused, but we didn't get extra horrified, so that's something. Each investigator must resolve a horror check. There's nothing on the board. We can just go right back to the investigator phase. Okay, we're both in this room. I'm pretty sure that the darkness was not just for the... I do think Agatha wants to try to do a search thing, because she's the observant one. And then with the other one, there's a bizarre statue. We can pick the lock or smash the glass. We have a fire extinguisher, so let's have Lily move to that space. So we got a move action. And I'm going to smash the glass. You smash your elbow through the glass. Can't... We have a fire extinguisher. Smash it with the fire extinguisher. This is dumb. Okay, the sharp edges slice open your arm. Suffer 1 face-down damage. Lily's up to 3 damage now. Okay, you take the statue from the case. A tag hangs from the back of it that reads, "For sale by the Marsh family. Please contact for price. Gain the grotesque stone unique item and 1 clue. Lily's got a clue." And I've got a grotesque stone around here somewhere. Lily does still have 1 movement point left. And you can break up the move with any other actions on the turn, so she can move back into that space. The flesh ward just says another investigator within range. So Lily is going to go out that door. The only question is for Agatha, are we going to cast flesh ward once or twice? Probably twice because we're beat up somehow. Okay, Agatha casts flesh ward. So another investigator, you or another investigator, discards 1 damage. Then flip this card. So what is our side effect of doing the heal? So what copy are we getting? Number 1, which since I just put the one we saw last just on the top of the stack, 1 means it's the same one as last time. An echo of the spell passes through you. So lore check, we need 3 to pass. This would have been really good last time. And we got all blanks and 1 clue, so we fail. If you fail, lose your concentration and suffer 1 face-down horror. Okay. Not great for Agatha. Then discard this and gain another copy of Flesh Ward. That was Agatha's first one. We want to try to treat Lily again. So, exact same thing. We discard 1 damage from Lily. I'm just discarding to the bottom of the deck, especially because we don't know what it was anyway. Shouldn't matter. Which copy are we getting this time? Copy number 4. Flesh Ward. You feel an unsettling presence pass into your body. Lore check of 2. We certainly picked the right person for this, but I need to roll better. Okay, 1 success, 3 clue results, so Agatha does have a clue. We can pass the check. If you pass, you drive out the magic, no additional effect. If you fail, well, let's just say bad stuff. The affected investigator would have suffered 1 face-down horror. So we traded a clue for a horror. Lily's feeling better. That took our entire turn, though. I was hoping for some of those bonus things. 1 damage versus 3 damage is a big swing. And we finished our turn. Let's get back to the mythos. Lily Chen's body betrays her, becoming more erratic in its functions by the hour. Strength check of 2. And I got 2. Okay, if she passes, she puts the growing discomfort behind her to focus. It would have been really bad. She would have flipped 2 damage face up, then suffer 2 face down damage and 1 face down horror. I mean, I was talking before with like 4 investigators. The mythos phase thing seems more brutal. This is brutal if you fail that one. Okay, each investigator resolves a horror check. There's no one to resolve them against, so that one's done. Okay, back over to us. We should finally be able to do things again. Now, Agatha really just wants to interact with that radio, maybe the puzzle box. Also, we can try to find out what's in that bathroom. So let's interact with the radio because we are right there. The radio crackles with static, then you hear a voice. This is the captain of the Lively. I'm currently moored in the bay by Innsmouth. Is anyone there? So we can ask, can you pick us up, or where are you from? Can you pick us up is not a foreboding thing at all to say, whereas where are you from? Suspicious? I don't know. I'm not a local if that's what you're asking. I normally operate out of Gloucester. This news fills you with confidence. Become focused. This might be your best chance to escape Innsmouth. Okay, now Agatha is focused. And ooh, can you pick us up is free now. Raven, is that you? The captain must have been expecting someone else. You tell him your situation. Not sure if I want to take on unknown passengers in the middle of the night. How do I know I can trust you? Influence check of 3. Oh, or influence, no, influence, our ability is 3. And we got 1 clue result. I'm not going to upgrade that because, yeah, 1 is not going to be enough here. I try not to make a habit of taking on random passengers from Innsmouth. On the first time, we went all the way around the building before we came into the storefront and didn't even know about the conditions we would need to fulfill for the mission until super late. So, yeah, the storefront radio here seems rather vital. We need someone to try to come pick us up, so we have to do this. I'm sure it'll still be an influence check, but you're our only hope. Okay, the exact same thing. How do I know I can trust you? It's an influence test again. I just need to get lucky, but at least Agatha is focused. 1 clue result again and 2 fails. Nope, we just double blanked the whole thing. Try not to make a habit of picking up random people from Innsmouth. I technically don't know which direction the riot went. Last time it went clockwise. I assume it goes clockwise again. Let's see, do I have to be on Front Street, or is the storefront good enough to reveal this? On the Front Street. Okay, you can't do it from the inside space. I think we can have Lily move out, and we can try, maybe if there's something around here to search or interact with, or if the riot is getting close to us. We took so long fighting that cultist, it should be on the opposite side of the building right now. So let's go out the door and reveal. Ooh, we get double revealed. You peer down a dark alley to the east of the building. Place alley corner 1 and alley 1 is indicated, and discard all the tokens pointing to it. Okay, got him. So corner 1 goes there, and let's see, the light is on the inside there. You notice a stack of several crates. Oh, a figure peers into the alley from a door leading to the adjacent block. Place a person as indicated. So we've got the tile he's after over here. Another door leads to a tower that stretches high above the rest of the nearby buildings. Place an explorer token as indicated. Further sight. The other side of the alley opens onto a dock. We still have another point from the movement. Let's get here and search the crate that was in that corner. Yeah, several crates are stacked. Come on, Lily. Observation check. Observation is 3. Let's do better. 1 success. Sucks to spend the clue right away, but 1 is not enough. We got 2 successes there. Come on. Okay, you overturn a large crate and uncover something that could be of use. Gain the sedatives common item. So the sedatives item, at the start of your turn, you may discard 3 damage and 3 horror. If you do, discard, and end your turn. So you can spend your entire turn. Okay, and that was Lily's whole turn. She's already gone, which means it is time for us to jump into Mythos phase. Creatures fill the air, wispy and floating aimlessly. This Mythos event affects each investigator in the storefront, which is only Agatha. Trying to catch them is tempting, but the capricious wisps evade capture. Will check of 2. We've got will of 4. No clues, but we're focused. Okay, we got 2 and a clue result. We passed. The tiny beings fade from existence. Okay, we're good there. Few members of the mod begin singing a horrid, croaking melody, and in response the sea begins to sing along. The inhuman notes echo through the alleys and streets, insinuating themselves into the minds of all who hear it. Each investigator suffers 2 face-down horror. Okay, 2 horror for each of them. Perhaps a time mechanic to remind us that we need to keep moving, or start moving, as the case may be. Each investigator must resolve a horror check. We can't see anyone who's on the board, so it's right back to our phase again. Agatha, keep on keep on trying that radio. Okay, influence check of 3 again. 1 clue result again. I don't even have any clues. I've got a focus I could use, but not on that. It doesn't believe I'm actually trying to click it again. Yes, I am, Agatha. Second action. You're our only hope. All blanks. Okay. Well, I'm just rolling very poorly with this game. At some point, does he just have pity on you? Okay, well, for Lily's side, we can move up and try to talk to the young boy. I'm a little bit worried about the riots suddenly appearing around that corner. I hope I would hear them. But we're going to move 2 up to there. That is going to reveal, because we just have to be on alley 1, so we can reveal what's over there. And we get to see the dock. The back of the building overlooks the sea. Eastern side of the building, a long dock stretches out into the bay. Place rental dock and dock number 2, which is right there. So rental dock and dock number 2, which we can't quite really see the end of. But I don't want to collapse the space down by too much. Tile goes out just a little bit farther, but there's nothing super interesting at the end. Unless... What you got for us, app? Uh-oh, the area is filled with the stooped, sallow-skinned locals that have been hunting you. Place the mob as indicated. So they are back on the board there. They're within horror check range of us right now. But what else do we have? A number of rowboats are stacked on the docks. Oh, there's a locked door. Small boat rental stands on the dock, but it looks to be closed for the night. At the end of the dock, an unlit lantern hangs from one of the supports. Place a search token as indicated. And at the other side of the rental dock, the dock ends in a beach that stretches along the back of the building. Well, I was hoping the mob wasn't quite that close, because they're basically on that space. Now I'm tempted to simply run along the other side and get into the building. I think they're 2 spaces away. There's this sort of weird little spot there where this space might be directly connected with this space, so I'm not sure if the mob would like shortcut around the corner or if they're just... I feel like they would just go 2 spaces and end up right there, which would give us time to try interacting with the boy once before needing to flee from the mob. And let me look up the details on those weird tile connections. Okay, well, it looks like a border separates 2 or more impassable areas. So this specific spot on the border, I think, does actually connect this space to this space. So a monster or our investigator, depending on whatever they're moving toward, could actually skip that space, I think. If I remember how the riot works, it says move 2 spaces towards alley 1 or alley 2. So they would just stop in the first space. Unless they're saying move towards nearest investigator, they would stop short of me. Think I might be able to take the risk before I start running away. She's also going to have a horror check. The biggest risk is if a monster comes out of here, and then I have to do evasion checks against the monster and maybe get stuck. So we are going to try to interact with this boy. Hello, kitty. Okay. The young boy peers into the alley from the side door. He's curious. We're approaching him. You ask the boy for help. Influence check again. No, kitty. No more laps. Okay, influence of 3. 1 success. I don't think that's enough. The boy shakes his head and slams the door. Discard this person. Great. Put myself in danger for nothing, because I can't roll again tonight. Okay, Lily is done. Tonight's comedy of errors continues to go very poorly for us. Both investigators have failed to do anything except get put in danger, and it's time for the Mythos phase again. Hissing and weaving like a serpent, a rope rises up to wrap around Agatha Crane. Agility check 2. Her agility's 3. And we got 1. Of course, I fail by 1. If she passes, nope. If she fails, the rope wraps around her and begins squeezing the life out of her. Suffers 2 damage and becomes restrained. Agatha has 1 spot left. She only has a health of 5 and has 4 damage. And the restrained status. You cannot move voluntarily. At the end of your turn, discard this card. Still holding on to that focus from before. Here's the mob. Moves 2 spaces towards alley 1. That's what I thought. So they stop when they reach the space. Nobody shared a space with them. Attacks investigator within range, so that it's attacking Lily. Member of the riot glares at you and reaches into his coat pocket. Observation test of 3. Lily has. And I got nothing again. Okay. He opens fire. If you fail, you and each other investigator in your space suffer 2 damage. So Lily's already back up to 3 damage suffered. And now it's time for horror checks. Lily does get to resolve a horror check. The riot begins to make disgusting japes and euphemisms, brandishing their weapons in odd and uncomfortable poses. Suffer 1 face-down horror, then flip 1 face-down horror face up. I believe one of these is just a minor shock, so I need to randomly determine which one is going to get flipped. And the top one, which is minor shock, no additional effect, flip back face down. Okay, we got lucky with that, and that's it for the horror checks. So back over to us. Can we do anything? Let's go, investigators. So Agatha can't even move right now, but I think we need to use the flesh ward on ourselves just to try to heal. So flesh ward ourselves, we discard 1 of these damage. And now we flip over a card. Number 6, reroll. Reroll again. Number 3, every hair on your body stands on end. Lore check of 3. Well, 1 success. Wait. It's a lore check. I get to roll all 5 dice. Okay, I had a success and a clue. Okay, 2 successes and a clue. Kind of sucks to use the focused on it, but if I need to, I will. Let's look at what the results are. If you pass, no additional effect. If you fail, you abruptly lash out, flip 1 damage face up. I don't want to spend focus on this. Some of these, it could just be a minor injury. A lot of the cards for both damage and horror are just a minor thing that has no effect, and some of them are really nasty. I don't want to spend the focused on that. I want to spend focus to pass the frickin' influence check. I just flip a damage face up. I don't know what that's going to do. Probably gonna suck. So use the die again, top to bottom. 6, so that's the most recent one we got, is a minor injury. Flip face down. Okay, got lucky there. Okay, we still have 3 damage though, so flesh ward again so that I hopefully don't die, because the mob would just kill her right away. But also the mythos effects will just kill us. Everything's gonna kill us. Flesh ward, we discard. Can I discard 1 that I know isn't the minor damage? Hold on to the minor damage one. Let's discard another random one. So now we've only got 2 damage, and time to flip. So which flesh ward do we get? Number 5. This is another new one. Now only the one on the bottom we haven't seen before. You become aware of every facet of your body and those of your companions. Lore check of 2. Let's roll all 5 dice this time. 1 success. I still cannot pass a single thing. If you fail, you scream in revulsion, suffer 1 horror. So all I did was I traded a damage for a horror. At least Agatha is very mentally fit. So at the end of your turn, discard restrained. We can move again. So Agatha was first. Lily just needs to get out of range of the riot, and I can't get into the building. Basically, I'm just going to jump inside the building on this side. Just double move into there. We're back together again. Yeah, let's see what happens when the riot passes us. We've all moved. Mythos phase time. What you got for us? From every corner of the air comes a horrible pounding sound. Well, nobody's in an outdoor space, so no effect. One of the locals glances up at the tall bell tower, tries the door but finds it locked. Unable to get inside, smashes his lantern against the door, covering it in burning oil. Place fire as indicated. So fire, at the end of every round, the fire spreads to 1 extra space. Thankfully, we have a fire extinguisher, So discard all fire in your space and adjacent spaces. Then it moves 2 spaces towards alley corner 1. And nobody was in the same space at any point. Nobody is in their space. Okay, several members of the mob grow impatient. They send one of their number out to hunt us down. And these pesky thrall guys suck. Thrall spawns. It moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. It does not reach us, does not get inside. And it moves 2 more spaces towards the nearest, so now it is in the space with Lily. Agatha is never going to get to use Poison Mist. Well, or at least getting some horror checks now. Lily first. Looks down at its rippling, malformed figure and howls in anguish. Flip 1 horror face up, then suffer 3 face down horror? Thralls have a brutal horror checks. Okay, so I need to determine which one I'm flipping. Number 5, that's the most recent one. Sudden shock. Gasping in surprise and fear, you clutch at your face, forgetting for a moment what you had been holding only seconds before. Drop 2 random items, then flip this card face down. 2 random items. So I have the 4 items here, which include my sensible shoes, which we could drop in shock. Fire extinguisher, sedatives, or the grotesque stone. So I need an 8-sider here. Just divide by 2. In the die roller. So we've dropped our shoes somehow into the space. And now the second one. Our sedatives. Our sensible shoes and sedatives. We actually shocked our socks off. 3 face down horror. Well, will plus 1 is 5, so we at least have a shot here. Though we don't have any clues. And we got 2 clue results and 3 blanks. So we suffer 3 face down horror. Lily is only 1 point away from going insane. Okay, now Agatha goes. Thrall grins at an unheard comment and turns its sightless gaze on you. Lore check of 3. We've got a lore of 4. Okay, 3 successes, and we passed. We realize the monster is just a husk controlled by a greater power. Gain a clue. And Agatha's ability, after a horror check, gain a clue. So she's got 2 clues now. Thralls have very difficult checks. End the mythos phase. So Lily is about to go insane. Literally lost her shoes. I think it is time to have Agatha go. Agatha is going to use the poison mist on the thrall. I mean, Lily can just pick up the sedatives and use them and get 3 health and 3 horror back. Interesting. Yeah, actually, if Lily goes first, because we have to pick the shoes back up, and the sedatives you can only use at the start of your turn. I just want to make sure. Is it going to... Yeah, well, you shouldn't have to have me tell you that there was a fire set. Because you set the fire app. Okay, so there is more fire out on that street right now. Because at the end of every round, the fire spreads. And it should have told us to do that as soon as the mythos phase ended. Lily goes first, picks up the sensible shoes and the sedatives. Now we have all of our stuff again. We're going to make an unarmed attack. So, unarmed. You'll unleash a flurry of quick punches, hoping enough of them will hit to make a difference. Our agility counts as 5 again now that we've put our shoes back on. And we have 3 and a clue. We can't use the clue, so we just have 3. If you pass, you catch your foe a number of times in the chest and stomach and doubles over in pain. The monster suffers damage equal to your test result plus 1. So that's 3 plus 1. Her ability adds 2 additional damage. We actually got lucky and one shot defeated the thrall using Lily. Finally a good roll for Lily. Yeah, we don't have darkness penalties because Agatha and her light source are just next to us. So we still need to just keep focusing on trying to contact this ship. If we don't do it, then we don't know what we need to do to complete the mission, and there's a lot of it. Okay, you are our only hope. Raven, is that you? How do I know I can trust you? Influence of 3, here we go. We have clues at least. I have 2 clues. So I can either use the focus status effect to convert them both, or I can use my 2 individual clues. I'm going to use focused, and I'm going to hope that 2 is enough for this. If not, I may scream, go insane myself. So we have a skill check of 2. I mean, we've only got 3 influence. If we don't have enough influence, how is this possible? Okay, thank goodness. I'm supposed to pick up Agent Craven. I'll come pick you up, but you need to find Craven and bring him with you. I cannot see through this fog. Light a lantern on the dock where you want me to pick you up. Ring the fog bell when you're ready for me to come. Okay, so fog bell we have not encountered, but we do know that up at the end of this pier is a light, and we should be able to interact with it to... you can light the lantern only if you have a light source, so we have to use our oil lantern to light that. But that tells him where to come to the dock, and I'm pretty sure if I click on this... Yeah, what do you need again? And it'll just remind us. After lighting the lantern on the dock, ring the fog bell. The light is necessary, but it's not the final part of this plan, and we also need to find Craven. Now, maybe that's optional, but still, Agatha did the thing. That was only her first action. So we can finally move one space in, and next turn we can attempt to search that end table with our very high observation. That ends our phase. Back over to Mythos phase. The fire spreads out of control. Place it adjacent to a space already containing fire. Well, the fire has caught up with the mob. Yep, the fire spreads. You're weary to the bone and your strength is now ebbing. Each investigator flips 2 damage face up. Well, Agatha only has 2 damage, so we're going to resolve these one at a time. First one, minor injury. Okay, flip it face down. And the other one, just a scratch. Oh, nice. You thought the wound was much deeper than it was. Resolve immediately. Discard this card. That's a happy one to have. Now, for Lily, she has 3 wounds, so I've got to randomly determine which one we're flipping up. So, on the bottom, minor injury. No additional effect. Flip face down. And it has to be one of the other 2. Okay. Broken leg. Oh, you fall as pain lances up your leg. When you try to stand, you fall all over again. Keep face up. If you move more than a single space as part of a move action, flip 1 damage face up. Great, we have a broken leg with our martial artist. Oh man, sedative. You may discard 3 damage and 3 horror. It doesn't say face up damage, so can the sedatives cure our broken leg? I gotta check. The sedatives card doesn't specify face down damage, so I think the sedatives can get rid of that horrible broken leg card. Done the Mythos event. Now the mob moves 2 spaces towards the front street. They're just outside. Anyone in their path? Yada yada. It attacks each one in their space. There's no one. Each investigator must resolve a horror check. There is a door in the way and that blocks range, so no horror checks. Okay, back over to us relatively quickly. So there is a fire. Let's see. The default way to put out fire is you can do an agility check, and then for the rest of the round, they can use the number of success results they have to put out that many fires. But you still take damage when moving into the space. I feel like we need to get into that tower, so having all this fire is not great. The mob did start their turn in the space, though, so they've taken 1 damage out of the 60 it would take to defeat them. Take that, mob. Okay, it's back over to us. Lily is just going to discard the sedatives at the start of your turn, discard 3 damage and 3 horror, discard this card and end your turn. So the sedatives are gone. We got rid of the broken leg and whatever those other 2 things are. You're technically supposed to shuffle all those things in, but I just put them at the bottom because now Lily just has 3 horror and is back at full health yet again. She's taken so much damage during this game. We had to flesh forward her multiple times and she was still on the edge. Agatha can go. Let us finally search this end table for clues. Oh, no, but it's a lore check. Okay, well, she's good at lore too. Lore 5. 3 successes. It can happen. I'm sure that's enough. You find an old piece of paper at the top of one drawer. The strange script on it seems very out of place indeed. Gain the Arcane Insight spell, then discard this search token. Well, that's the one on the top of my little collection of spells. So what does Arcane Insight do? It sounds nice and buffy. As a spell action, you or another investigator within range gains 1 clue. Then flip this card. That sounds nice. I mean, Lily has been suffering from being clueless for this entire game. Yeah, that would be nice to use on Lily. And then discard that token. Maybe we can explore into the bathroom. I'm sure there's something to investigate in there as well. Lily's going to be at disadvantage in that darkened front room, so she's just going to follow us up there. Worn door leads to the only bathroom. Reveal a dingy bathroom, discard the token. As you look around the bathroom, you spot a ratty newspaper sitting on the tank of the toilet. Place a search token. A panel in the opposite wall looks like it opens to the other side. Place an explore token. You may move one space into the hotel room. So we're in there now. Lily skipped her whole turn. We're back into Mythos phase. Trying to go fast, I just keep failing at everything I'm trying to do. The fire spreads out of control. I mean, maybe I can have the mob just die by getting caught by that. Okay, yep. The fire continues to spread. A trio of stars drifts rather than falls from the sky. This Mythos event affects each investigator in an outdoor space. None of us. The mob moves 2 spaces towards Street 2. Anyone in their path is swept along with the tide of bodies. Each investigator who shared a space? Nope. Attacks anyone within range? No one's within range. They quiet down for a moment, putting their misshapen heads together. Then one of their numbers splits off at a jog, and the mob resumes its patrol. Spawn a thrall in their space. Come on, why the thralls? Give me deep 1 hybrids. The thralls suck. Yeah, it moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. That's going to be Lily. It's going to get in there with her. And now she's going to have the darkness disadvantage. Well, I suppose the only good sign is that we cannot spend clues in the darkness, and Lily is already clueless. So let's go. You feel your own flesh crawl and tear as the thrall lifts 1 mutated limb overhead. Suffer 1 face-down damage and 2 horror. Will negates. So will is 4, but we have 3 damage to negate here. Well, it bounced into the dice tray. I guess that counts. So 2 and a clue. We can't use the clue. So I can either suffer a damage or horror. I'll take the face-down damage. We have Flesh Ward. We don't have a sanity recovering spell. And that's it for the Mythos phase. We really, really need to move here. I don't know what better I can do. Agatha is back there. Lily is in the space with the Thrall. I mean, Thrall, she did a great job fighting the Thrall last time. Perhaps she can do well again. She's got her sensible shoes, unarmed attacks, but it's a strength. As you grapple your foe, you attempt to lift it off its feet. Strength check of 4. 1 success and a clue that I can't use. We have failed. Drives an elbow into your stomach to break the grab. Now we've got to fight and hope we get lucky. You're certain that if you can drive the pain of your injuries from your mind, like your broken leg, you'll last long enough to strike back. Will check of 2. And we have only clue. I've gotten so many clue results today, and there are only 2 of those on the dice. There are 3 successes, 3 blanks, and 2 clues, but clue has come up, it seemed, well, clue and blanks have come up by far the most today. So we got nothing. If you fail, the distraction of past and present injuries draws you away from the task, so Lily did nothing again this turn. Okay, Agatha, let's have you search. You're there, that's the most efficient course of action. You skim through the paper, observation, hers is 5 thanks to the magnifying glass. Yeah. Okay, we have 2 successes, 1 clue result. I need to hold on to these clues for the dangerous rolls. Buried on page 8, you find an article about the Marsh family and their sudden inexplicable wealth. Gain the circumstantial evidence unique card and 1 clue. Then discard this token. So she now has 3 evidence, and Lily has 1 hidden somewhere, building on the evidence, but okay, let's have Agatha do her second thing. She could run into the storefront to try to help Lily, but spending all of my efforts on this fight is driving me crazy. I need her to do something. She is actually effective somehow in this game. A panel in the wall looks like it can slide open. Let's go through. You push and slide the panel to the side. Discard this Explorer token and place a secret passage as indicated. Okay, so we've cleared out the bathroom. Where does it go? Well, it goes to the beach. The beach extends across the entire back of the hotel. Between the 2 piers, its sandy monotony disrupted only by a forlorn shack. Place the beach as indicated, remove all the tokens leading to it. So there's a little moldy shack there that is a separate space, sort of a door off from the beach. An old rowboat sits on the beach. Place a search token. A single panel in the wall seems to lead into the building behind the shack. Place a secret passage. Then move your investigator into that space, so something of a free move. She's now outside. The door off the beach leads to a room behind the hotel. A pier rises at the edge of the beach. So that was Agatha's whole turn. We're back into the mythos phase. I need some good luck here. Yeah, the fire continues to spread out of control. It's just following the mob around the block. I'm not going to be able to put all of this out, that is for sure. Okay, you hear a splash, and out of the dark, a gold-dripping black fluid flies furiously at your face. It events the investigator in a beach, dock, or pier with the highest strength. Well, Agatha is in the shack. She's in the muddy shack, and so she does not get affected by the seagull. Having circled the building, the mob smashes the windows of the hotel and throws a torch inside in an attempt to smoke you out. Place the torch common item as indicated. That sounds useful. It's a heavy weapon and light source. Melee weapon with a, damage rating of 1. An investigator drops this card, place fire in this space. So it's dangerous if it's dropped. And the fire from the torch spreads quickly, and soon the hotel is ablaze. Place fire as indicated. Oh, we've got a fire extinguisher. It'd probably be nice to get Lily the torch. The mob moves out of sight. Remove them from the board. The thrall moves 2 spaces. It's already there. Moves in unnatural and unpredictable ways, striking out. So 2 damage, negated by agility, which is still 5. Wow, 3. Cool, we've negated all the damage. Fighting the thrall is easier than the horror checks against the thrall. Speaking of, Lily does a horror check against the thrall. Okay, a creature blinks and seems to shake off some stupor when it sees you. The thrall starts to sob and beg for you to kill it. Suffer 2 horror. Okay, we've got 5 dice to negate. 2 successes. Okay, Lily is finally surviving. And that's it for that mythos phase. Back to the investigator's side again. So, we know the mob is somewhere on this side of the building, and they're going up to the top towards Agatha. We can examine the tokens, as long as we're, okay, I think you have to be on the beach. We can't be in the shack, right? Yeah, we can't be in the shack to reveal. What does this say? Just the door leads into a small room behind. You can explore if you have a light source. Agatha does have a light source. So we could go... Oh, we'd have to move 2 spaces, but then we could explore, and explore typically lets you go in, so she'd be safe from the mob. Versus we know we have to light that with someone who has a light source. Currently that's Agatha. And let's see, the front door to the boat rental building was once painted, now is cracking and peeling to reveal gray wood beneath. Okay, it's not telling us outright that it's locked. Might be locked, might not be. A number of rowboats are stacked on the dock. You might be able to use one of them to reach the fishing boat in the bay. That sounds useful. I wonder if that's an alternate. Like maybe if you have enough strength or something to doing all of that other stuff, like finding this Craven guy. We have no idea where he is. He could be in the lighthouse, he could be in the boathouse. On one hand, I want to wait inside and let the mob pass us by. On the other hand, I might not get a chance to do any of these other things if the mob comes and, say, destroys everything. I think last time, because it went on so long, they ended up destroying the boats. I want to find out if we can actually do something with those boats before they get destroyed. Never got a chance last time. So we're going to move 2 spaces, and we are going to explore the rental shack. Maybe there's something useful in there. Okay, someone has left the light on inside the boat rental. You spot the rental logbook open on the table in the middle of the room. They say search token as indicated, and discard the explorer. You may move 1 space in, so at least we're inside, and we can search the rental shop, and then maybe get to the boats the turn after. Lily is the one who has the fire extinguisher. The only other way is to use an agility check, but if we want to get in there, the door is secured with a tarnished silver lock, so we can't break that open. But the fire in the way, we pretty much need to at least put that 1 space out, or we're going to be in a heap of trouble trying to get in there at some point. But we don't even have the key for it. Okay, Agatha done. Lily, fight the thrall again. Lily could try to move all the way out, but she'll be in a real trouble if she's not, well, if she is being followed by that thrall still. Please kill the thrall. Please do a good unarmed attack. You're supposed to be good at this. Okay, strength check. We need 2. You lunge at your foe's legs in an attempted tackle. Okay, we got 2. We actually passed. You catch your enemy off balance and the weight of your body carries it to the ground hard. Suffers damage equal to your test result plus 1. If you fail, the foe dodges. 2 plus the 1 plus her bonus 2 is 5 damage. Lily is very, very good at inflicting 5 damage, but everything has 6 hit points. We're attacking unarmed again. Come on, you unleash a flurry of quick punches. Okay, this is an agility test, so she gets all 5. We need 2 to pass here. And we got 3 plus 2 clues that I can't use. So we have passed. Suffers damage equal to your test result plus 1. This is the one that would have just killed him outright. This does 6 damage, so we have eliminated the thrall, and so now Lily is safe. Over to the Mythos phase. Okie dokie. The fire spreads out of control, so that's at the start of the, well, I'm not going to put the fire in with Lily, although I suppose that would let her put out the fire more easily with the fire extinguisher, because you don't suffer damage just by starting the turn. You suffer damage by doing anything other than putting out the fire or moving away. So she could just use the extinguisher and take out 2 of these fire, or she could simply move away. I don't really need to get back into the building at all ever again, but let's just continue having the fire chase the mob around the street. There is definitely too much fire for me to put out. Okay, fierce wind blows, hurling debris. The investigator in an outdoor space. We are not outdoors, we are inside the shack. Uh-oh. Someone in the mob seems to realize your plans to use a boat to escape. The crowd begins heading to the docks to stop you once and for all. One of the locals breaks away from the mass to circle the building in the opposite direction. Spawn the Child of Dagon as directed. Ooh, okay. Okay, got a Child of Dagon, and starting right next to all of that fire. The Child of Dagon moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. Then it attacks the one in its space with the most horror. Well, it takes 2 damage by moving through fire spaces. It only has 12. No one in the space. Each investigator must resolve a horror check. The door blocks the line of sight, so tap the end phase button. Back to our phase. But we have confirmed that the mob are heading towards those boats. That tells me that they're important, but our plan doesn't actually involve them. We just have to be at the end of the pier with that light on. Our plan didn't say anything about those boats. Okay, let's have Agatha go first. Let's search the logbooks, full of neat handwritten notes concerning who rented boat when. Okay, Marsh family, observation check. We have 5 here because Agatha is very observant with her glass. Wow, 4 results, and a clue thing that we could have easily used for 5. 4 should be plenty. As you page back through the book, you find entries every single week showing a member of the Marsh family taking a boat out to Devil's Reef. Each entry has an annotation detailing strange and exotic treasures brought back on the return journey. Gain the incriminating evidence, unique item, and 1 clue. Then discard this token. Agatha has 4 clues now. Here's our incriminating evidence. Agatha has 4 of them now. And that token is done. Now we can compile the evidence that we have right now. We haven't even had time to try that the puzzle box. So you've tracked all of the evidence you've managed to gather. Yeah, compiling does not take an action. You have enough evidence to convict the Marsh family. Now you just need to escape. We don't need any more of these side trips to find more evidence. We just need to get out. So Agatha is going to spend the rest of her turn checking out the rental dock. We still have no idea where this Craven guy is. So what is Lily going to do? Lily is maybe being pursued by the Child of Dagon, or that Child of Dagon is just going around the other side. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we can get them to be equal distances away, then the Child of Dagon will go towards Agatha. But if it's like a double move, I can maybe finally poison mist somebody and they'll take a bunch of damage just running through the fire. The barricades basically block movement for 1 turn. Whereas if I go like double move out towards the back, they'll be on the beach. I kind of want the torch just because of it, to have it as a light source, because I know I need a light source for something, but maybe I don't need to go in there unless Craven's in there, and I don't know if that's randomized, where Craven is. But I don't want to go out into the fire with him. So I'm definitely moving this way for 2. If I move into the torch space, I will suffer 1 face-down damage, but then I can pick up the torch and extinguish the fire next turn. But if I move into that space at least, I can have the fire extend to where I am. I don't have time for that. But if I don't have time for that, I don't have time for the torch at all. But I do need to go that way. I don't know where Craven is. I don't have a key for that. I need to either go that way or this way to find more stuff, and that means I need to go into that torch space. So I think I just have to suffer the damage to go into this, to enter a space that's on fire. And I just have to do it, and I can extinguish that fire next turn. Sucks, but that's what I got. So, Lily's done too. Time for our mythos time. The fire spreads out of control. Place it in a space adjacent to other ones. If I put the fire in a space that's just adjacent to Lily, because Lily can, using the fire extinguisher, all fire in your space and adjacent spaces. I mean, maybe I just want to leave that fire there. I'm not going to bother putting it out. I'm just going to pick up the torch. No, picking up the torch is going to take an action. I'll take more damage. So we'll just put it in the building and we'll just put it out again. Okay, the fire has spread. Now, unbidden, the terrible things you've seen arise up from your memory. Each investigator flips 2 horror face up. Each of them has 3 horrors, so I need to determine which ones they're going to get. Okay, top to bottom. Okay, that's the deepest one on Agatha. Dementia. Resolve immediately. Well, okay, you turn away, already feeling the fog of memory clouding your mind. It's a mercy, truly. So discard 1 clue, then flip this card face down. That one stinks. Oh wait, she has 4 horror. Now I can use the d6 because it's a different random one. Hysteria. Okay, screaming hysterically, you claw your own flesh with your nails. Flip 1 damage face up, then flip this card face down. So her 1 damage is a minor injury that just flips back face down. Okay, so Agatha lost a clue, but otherwise wasn't that badly damaged. Lily's got 3, so we're taking the bottom. Minor shock, just flip face down. How about of the other 2? Okay, we're taking that one. Sudden shock. It's the drop random items one. If I drop the fire extinguisher, I'm going to be so angry. And I've only got 3 items, so I'm going to roll to see which one I get to hold on to, and it better be the frickin' fire extinguisher. It's not. I get to hold on to the stupid grotesque stone, and I drop everything else into the space. And then this flips back face down. My plan to put out the fire has been made. Okay, the Child of Dagon moves up to 2 spaces to be within range of as many as possible. Well, they can't get in within range, but they can get within range of Agatha. So they started their turn in fire and moved into 2 fire spaces, so they're up to 5 fire damage. But they can attack Agatha. In a shocking display, the Child of Dagon drives a curved knife straight through one hand, but instead of blood, a swarm of tiny eels pours onto the ground. Suffer 2 face-down horror. It's only after you shake off the illusion that you realize that your head is swimming and throbbing in agony. Become dazed. So horror that we can't do anything to stop or counteract. Now Agatha is up to 6 horror. Thankfully, have a total of 9. Let's see, dazed means that you cannot spend clues for 1 turn. She's our clue master. Horror check, the only one who has to do this is Agatha against the Child of Dagon, so she'll be getting clues. Everywhere the Child of Dagon's steps, damp and salty footprints are left behind. You see seaweed caught under your foe's clothes and barnacles stuck to cold, clammy skin. Suffer 2 horror, negated by will. Our will is 4. And we got 3 successes easy, so we've negated all of the extra. And from her ability, she's back up to a total of 4 clues. And it's our turn again. Okay, Agatha, the Child of Dagon, if it does the same thing again next turn, 3 more turns stops and attacks us. Maybe we just want to stay here, then poison mist and finish it off. But we really need to check out this boat. Number of rowboats are stacked on the dock. You might be able to use one of them to reach the fishing boat. You attempt to push one of the boats into the water, but discover it is chained to the dock. You glance over the rest of the boats and find them tethered as well. You will need to find a way to bring the fishing boat to you. Before turning your attention elsewhere, you decide to search the boats for anything of use. I was right, we can't use these boats, but is there anything of use? Okay, Agatha, observation of 5, let's go. 3 successes, that should be good enough. You notice something in one of the boats that could help your investigation. Gain the candle's common item. Another light source that we could use to set fire if we wanted to. Let's see, there's something special about the candles, though. You may discard this card to convert all clue results to successes while casting a spell. And since we already have an oil lamp that is a better light source, we may end up doing that. I forgot that our ritual dagger improves. We get additional dice when casting a spell, which I think would also be like the skill checks, the skill checks for the negative results. So maybe I should have had some extra dice there. Okay, that was Agatha's turn. No, wait, that was only one. Now we can also send Agatha up towards the dock so we can just light this. Can't do it this turn, but next turn we can light the thing and then move a space back. That way at least one of our steps towards the completion of this scenario will have been completed. So that's Agatha. Now Lily, who got completely screwed over by that, having to drop all the dang items. So, if I do an agility test, I can put out the fire that's in my space right away. You may discard fire from their space or a space they move into later during the round. So as long as we get at least 1 success out of the 5, we can put the fire out first. If we get at least 2 successes, well, we're not going to be able to move this round, and that stupid thing's now in our way, directly in our path. Whereas if I simply suffered a damage, I could then immediately use the fire extinguisher and just put out both points of fire. Action economy, this sucks, but I have to just take the damage to pick up all of my stuff, including the fire extinguisher. I put my shoes back on again. Need to tie these shoes. They are not sensible. Okay, but now we've got a torch, so we have a light source. And then we use the fire extinguisher to discard all the fire that was inside the building. Okay, that was her whole turn. Okay, Mythos time. The fire spreads out of control. It certainly does. I suppose I can let it go into the building, but let's put it between us and that child of Dagon. Didn't show it. Put it into the space we were recently occupying. Now I guess I'm worried about the Colt coming up from the opposite side and Agatha not being able to get out of the way. Hopefully it doesn't go out to where she is and she can just stay on the pier and just heal herself and cast spells. Okay, the fire spread. What's next? Skittering and creeping, 100,000 spiders emerge from their hiding places. That was on fire? Lily Chen scrambles to avoid the worst of their bites. Agility test. She needs 2 to pass. She put out the fire. She's got a fire extinguisher. That's great against spiders. Well, she got 2 successes and the 3 clues that she has no way to use. She passes. She receives only a trace of their strange venom, but the experience is traumatizing. Suffer 1 face-down horror and become dazed. Now she's up to 4 horror, and dazed just means she can't use clues. That's fine. She is the clueless Lily. Uh-oh, the horde of shambling locals emerges into view. Place the mob as indicated. It's reached the beach. There's nobody in its space. And the child of Dagon moves 2 spaces nearest the next investigator, so damage. That's 3 more to the child of Dagon. Then it attacks the one in its space. No one is in its space. Oh, good. So each investigator resolves a horror check now. Lily's fine, but let's see, the riot is slightly more horrifying and it is within range. And Agatha was dazed so long ago, I don't think she's dazed anymore. Lily's dazed. Okay. Several members of the mob stare blankly into space for a moment before rejoining the ruckus. Suffer 3 face-down horror. And will -1 negates. Ugh. Okay, so that means we're only rolling 3 dice here. And we're suffering 3 horror. And we only have a single clue. Well, so we're going to spend the clue to only suffer 2 horror. We are up to 8 horror. Agatha is maybe the only character who could suffer this much horror without going insane. If you suffer 2 or more, you feel compelled to join them yourself. Move 1 space toward the mob. Well, you know what? That's not particularly hurting us at this time. And that's it. Okay, Agatha gains a clue for having done a horror check. Back to our turn again. I still want to light the fire. I have to. It's one of our conditions. But yeah, having so much horror is just terrible. Okay, Agatha goes up to that space. We are going to light that thing because we have a light source. Light the lantern. You light the lantern. It burns brightly, its light piercing through the fog out in the bay. You see a light flash twice. If you can signal the boat, you could escape. Become focused, then discard this token. But that was your whole turn. Move and then act. So what is Lily going to do? Lily is at least no longer actively on fire. That's a good thing. Okay, we are going to start heading out into the western alley. So we'll do a movement of 1. We're going to explore out this door. Yep, no requirements on this one. Oh, they're giving us both alley corners now. You peer down a dark alley to the west of the building. Place alley corner 2. Oh, I have to move. I have so much horror, everything expanded. Okay, alley corner 2 and alley 2. Let's see, yep, the light's on the outside on this one. Oh, you see a drunk old man slumped against a crate. Place a person as indicated. One door leads to the building in the adjacent block. Place an explore token. Another door leads to a room behind the hotel. And the other side opens onto a pier. Okay, we can move 1 space over there for free. We do still have 1 space of movement left. If I don't want to interact with the old man, I can move up 1 space. What has he got? The old man is passed out drunk against a trash can. He has a silver key hanging from a ring. Well, we literally have... It specifically says it's a silver lock. So I think he has the key. I assume we need the key. I've still never been inside that room, so I don't know what it is, but we have to signal a foghorn. It's either in the dark room, or the foghorn's on the pier, or it's in the tower. The tower's the most reasonable place. I think I need that key. So I'm just going to ditch the last point of movement. We end our turn. Okay. Mythos. And the fire spreads. Where do I even want the fire to spread at this point? Because I don't want it to go there, because then Agatha will have to run through it. I can spread it into the building. I mean, we're never going out onto that street again. We don't go there anymore. Every person and object you can see is suddenly surrounded by a nimbus of silver light. Affects each one in an outdoor space. That is both of them this time. Gravity seems suspended and you begin to drift toward the sky. Then the light flickers out. You crashing down to Earth once more. Suffer 1 face-down damage. Agatha's up to 2. Lily is up to 4 face-down damage. The mob moves 2 spaces towards the rental dock. Okay. Their eyes are ever watchful for intruders. We didn't share a space with them. Nobody is in their space. I'm lucky it could have been a ranged attack. They reaches the docks and begins smashing and burning the rental boats. If you do not escape soon, it will be too late. Place 1 fire as indicated. The docks are getting on fire anyway. The Child of Dagon moves up to 2 spaces to be adjacent to as many as possible. Then it attacks the adjacent investigator with the lowest. So adjacent does count in other spaces, so takes a damage, moves into 2 other spaces. Thank you, mob, I guess. So it's taken 3 damage, but there's nowhere who's adjacent. Then moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. So it has caught up with Agatha, but it only has 1 hit point left. Each investigator must resolve a horror check against the monster within range with the highest horror rating. Oddly enough, that is still the Riot. No, not the Dagon. Riot. Agatha, horror check. The Riot begins to make disgusting japes and euphemisms, brandishing their weapons. Suffer 1 face-down horror, then flip 1 horror face-up. So Agatha has suffered her full 9, which means she goes completely insane. But when you go insane, you lose all of your face-down horror. Which means she's not going to have any to flip face-up, but she is insane. So I filtered out all the insane cards that are only for 1+. So there are 6 of them. We're going to find out how Agatha goes insane. Insanity number 4. Okay. And restless anxiety. You are suddenly stricken with the sense that your life up to this point has not only boring, but pointless. Life is too short to not experience as much of the world as possible. Variety is the spice of life, after all. You cannot perform any single action more than once each round. You win or lose as normal. Okay, so I can't double move anymore, but I'm sure I can give myself arcane insight if nothing else each turn, and just rack up the clues, basically. Agatha does gain a clue after that horror check as well. So, no more horror. Mythos phase done. Yeah, there's a lot of fire on this board. Who do I want to go first? Probably Agatha, simply because we need to figure out what's going to happen with that deep one. So we are going to... you can't do any single action more than once. So is attacking with a spell and attacking with a razor the attack action twice? I think so, which means I can only defend myself once per round. Okay, well, we're going to make this attack action matter. We are going to use Poison Mist, finally. Yes, well, we're in the same space is adjacent to itself, I'm sure. So we are going to Poison Mist that child of Dagon with the spell. You begin the recitation but stumble when you reach the final verse. You scour your memory for the remaining words, and 1,000 voices fill your mind in reply. Will check of 4. But thanks to the ritual dagger, we roll 1 additional die when casting spells. So what do we have? We have 1 and a clue. Well, you can bet that I am absolutely spending one of our 5 clue tokens to get 2 successes out of that. And yes, we have passed. You managed to isolate your own voice amidst the din and trust it to guide you. The monster suffers damage equal to the spell's damage plus your test result. That was 5 damage. The Poison Mist is nasty. If you fail, your mind reels. Okay, then flip the spell you attacked with. So, the child is defeated. Good. He's off the board now. Ah. But we have to flip over a Poison Mist spell, and I have a feeling that might be very unpleasant for us. Please don't be everyone in that space suffers the damage. Number 5, what do we have on the bottom? You cough and sputter as you lose all control over the arcane magic. You and each other investigator in your space or an adjacent space suffers 1 damage. Then the monster suffers 1 additional damage, and each other monster in your space or an adjacent space suffers 2 damage. Then discard this, so we have suffered 1 damage from using the Poison Mist, but that would have been a real nasty thing to use against the monsters. That was our first action. Now, if we simply moved again, we would be in the space with the mob, and that sounds terrible. I could try the puzzle box. There might be something useful inside there. Something that's not just evidence. I don't know what it could be. Like, would they put bandages in the puzzle box? Maybe. The other thing would be casting Flesh Ward on ourselves. We're going to Flesh Ward ourselves. You just discard 1 damage. I don't remember what any of them were. Flesh Ward number 2. Every hair on your body stands on end. I think we did this one before. So lore check of 3. And we've got 5 lore, and the dagger gets us an extra die. So, oh wow, 4 results. That one's sort of cocked, but it's between 2 successes. Okay, 4 we easily passed. Yourself again, no additional effect. We are fine there. We are down to 2 damage with Agatha. Agatha is done for this turn. Lily, let's see, we can either try to steal the key or slap him. Slap him might be funny. I've got a fire extinguisher, sensible shoes, the torch, I could just light him on fire. But steal the key, we've got 5 agility. We have no clues, so we have to just legitimately get lucky. Yep, I was right, that's an agility check. The other one may have been strength, but I don't think either of them would have helped us. 2 is 2 enough. As you try to remove, you slip, and the rustling wakes the old man. He shoves you back, suffer a damage. He just dealt damage to our martial artist, who now has 5 damage and 4 horror. Oh, Lily. Well, that was our first action. What do you want? May I have that key? Again, we're stuck in a situation where we have no choice but to try. Yeah, influence. 3 dice. Agatha wouldn't be any better at this. Absolutely nothing. I hope we don't need 3 successes again, or we're going to be sitting here with Lily for the whole time. This is my key, you can't have it. And so ends another round. Back to Mythos. What do we got? The fire continues to spread, and I don't want to spread any further over on that side, so the fire is in the building now. I put it on the first storefront space. A spell leaps unbidden into your mind. This event affects the investigator with the lowest will. They both have the same will, but Agatha loves spells, so we're going to give it to Agatha. You attempt to decipher the spell. Lore, you only need 1 to pass. Oh. We got 2 and a clue. Well, I've already passed. You realize casting it would be a terrible idea. If you fail, the words blah blah blah. Ooh, yeah, that would have been terrible. Okay, good thing Agatha knows her spells. The Innsmouth mob moves 2 spaces towards Dock 2. Dock 2, wait a second. That's where Agatha is. Uh-oh. But, per the logic I used before, and yeah, they took another point of fire damage, they stop because they have reached Dock 2. They don't reach Agatha, who's hanging out at the end of the pier. They bring anyone with them. Nobody was brought with them. And they attack the investigator in their space. That's nobody. The mob begins tearing apart the dock. In moments it will be too late to escape. Everyone suffers 1 damage, then flips 2 face up. They're going to just literally destroy the dock. This mission seems too difficult. What can I do better? Other than roll better. Oh yeah, sorry, flip 2 face up. I gotta do the last thing first, so... Okay, Agatha just had a minor shock. Lily has 5 horrors to choose from. And of course I rolled a 6, come on. Okay, number 3. Sudden shock. Drop 2 random items. That same one, again. If I drop the torch, the space I'm in lights on fire. I'm gonna use that D4, let's see what we get. Of course, it's the torch. If you drop this card, place fire in this space. We just lit ourselves on fire because... haha. And what's the second thing we're dropping? Better not be the extinguisher. Okay, it's my sensible shoes. I have dropped my shoes for the 3rd time this game. And that was just the first one. We need to resolve another face-down horror. Okay, what is this one? It's a minor shock. Just flip it back face down. Okay. Okay, so horror checks. Agatha gets a horror check against the riot. Mob hoists an effigy on high, then another and another. The pit of your stomach falls out as you realize they are crude renditions of you and your family. Suffer 2 horror. Will negates. Okay, we got the horror will. I feel like this may be the right time to use the focused ability, but I got so many clues, and I'm just going to get 1 back, so discard 1 clue. We've negated it all. She's done. Investigator phase. Have a feeling that Agatha is probably not going to be able to do 58 damage with poison before the mob rips everything up there. But we still need to find Craven, get the key from the drunk in the space that is now on fire. Yeah, I assume the drunk is not Craven. We didn't get an opportunity to ask him that. Get the key, get with the key in there, past all of the fire, and then trigger the foghorn, and then the boat will come to rescue us, but they can only rescue us at the dock, not the pier? I mean, the pier sounds like you could get a boat there. Maybe pier is in shallower water or something for the tiny fishing boats. It's a fishing boat coming to rescue us. But Agatha is on the wrong side of the riot, and there's fire on the other side waiting for her. I feel like she's basically screwed. I can only attack once per turn, so I could use the poison mist to do a spell attack. If I move, I'm just going to get stuck in the space, most likely. Maybe I can move past the mob, but they'll probably attack me. And then I'm moving into a space with fire, so I'm guaranteed extra damage. But other than that, Agatha is just stuck on the pier. I have to move past the riot and take the damage, or she's useless. And I hope that the dock really isn't the only way, or this is... So yeah, I have to do an evasion check on the riot. The mob surrounds you and attempts to pin you down. Her worst stats, strength is 2. Okay. At least she has all these clues and stuff, but... Oh, but we got a success and a... Yeah, I'm spending a clue on this. We punch one of their number in the nose and pull yourself free. Okay. So, they didn't stop us. We move to there. We suffer a damage for entering a space with fire. And now I can move 2 spaces. I still need to find Craven and the key, I could try putting out this fire in that space, but I have to find Craven, I have to find the foghorn, the fog bell, somehow before the mob finishes ripping up the dock. So what do we know about this thing? It's an old rowboat. It will not be enough to escape in, but might get you to the fishing boat. I think we have to try it, but I'm pretty sure there's just a hole in the bottom. But maybe I can find a gun? A win button? We're gonna need it. Okay, Agatha's done. So, Lily. Lily in the space with the fire that you did yourself, and I'd have to spend my second action picking up my shoes for the umpteenth time. I'm just going to use the fire extinguisher to put out the fire that's in our space because that is BS. And I'm not going to pick up my shoes until I have convinced this guy to give me the dang key. Okay, influence check again. Influence a 3. We have no clues. And of course I get only clue results and no thing that I can do with them. So we failed again. You can't have my key. Okay, at least we're not on fire again. The fire spreads out of control. I choose that it spreads further onto the dock just so that the riot takes damage. The mob has completely surrounded and mostly destroyed the dock. That was your last hope of escape. The investigation is not complete.
Realizing you intend to escape, the mob descends on the docks. They tear planks from the wharf and set fire to the boats. With your only escape cut off by the crowd, you flee inland, running through the claustrophobic streets. Suddenly, you're confronted by a large group of shambling locals who descend upon you. Countless slimy hands pin you down and bind your limbs. Once secured, you're dragged through the streets towards your gruesome fate. All the while, the locals stare after you with large, unblinking eyes.
This seems unfairly difficult unless you're allowed to just cheat with information you already know about. So, what I know from my failed disaster of a thing, because I went up the alley, the guy who was hiding in there was Craven. So, in an optimal run-through, pretending you have all possible information about this thing. So, like, we know there's a pier and a dock up there. You start there, you have to split up, somebody has to get the guy on the radio very quickly to help you out, have to fight or deal with that cultist at some point, and then get the boat, basically talk to that guy, get that done fast. Meanwhile, someone else has to simultaneously go out to the street, get the key from the drunk, which requires passing a skill check, which is totally beyond me. I mean, I guess you get the option of agility or strength or influence if you just wake him up and ask him nicely, perhaps. Perhaps that would have just been easier. I assume you need the key from him. If you talk to this guy first and find out about Craven, then you can simply go up the street, talk to this guy, find out he's Craven, convince him to help you. Then you just need to get around up to there, light the lamp, and have the same person with that light source and key and stuff also, I assume, get into there and light the fog bell and then escape. Like, optimal path, that's what you can do, but you have to know where everything is and just succeed right away. By the time, like, fire starts, you should be in your last steps of escape, and I was nowhere near that. So I'm wondering if I should come back in with a group of 5 full investigators and just overwhelm it with actions, and, like, I'll have somebody with high influence, because you can't have all the specialties with only 2 people. If you, like, you need someone with 5 in this, 5 in that to break through things. But in this one, influence is absolutely essential. You have to convince the guy on the radio. You have to convince him to come and help you. Otherwise, nothing gets put into motion. You don't even know to ask about this Craven guy. So you would walk past him and just miss out. Just like I was for like 2 full turns, just spinning on a single skill check that I couldn't pass. And the same thing over there with the key. You got your choice of things the first time, but if you just get a bad roll on your first attempt, then you're stuck with influence checks, and that's my worst thing. And oh yeah, I accidentally set myself on fire and dropped my shoes 3 times. So yeah, this feels unreasonably difficult. Let's just check what it says the difficulty is. Okay, it does say 4 out of 5, but they aren't all that difficult. I'm not sure if I want to do this one again and just see what happens if I absolutely stack it in my favor. Can I beat this one? Frustrated again, it was tough. I'm definitely going to have to try to cut this down as much as possible, see if I can fit it in one episode, because I don't want to break down another failure into a 2-parter. Yeah, it's still a good game, but gosh, the terrible... And I did have terrible die rolls for the first half of this thing. I could not afford that on this mission. Hopefully just roll better next time. But yeah, this one definitely feels not achievable with the 2 characters you're allowed to have as a single player. Hello, this is Eric from the next day. I've decided to take myself up on that idea I had a few... I'm going to try that scenario one more time, but I am going to stack the deck in my favor. I know that there's a finite number of actions that actually can be done in that mission, because the mob starts at the same spot every time, goes all the way around the board once, and then goes to the end and rips up the dock. So there's always, at most, 18 player turns in that scenario. And with a 1 player with 2 characters, that means a total of 36 actions apiece. Can you actually complete that mission with 2 characters with 36 actions apiece, knowing that you have to do the things on the different sides of the board with the movement around? I'm going to find out. I'm going to challenge this scenario and see what happens when I have optimal rolls and perfect knowledge, and see how many actions you actually have to spare when you're playing with just 2 characters if everything goes perfectly, to see just how unwinnable, or at least how difficult, this scenario is in that setting. This is sort of my revenge on the mansion, because it has driven me to madness. So that's going to be a special episode next week. I'm going to record that, get everything to run optimally, and let's just see how what it takes to crack this thing. I'll see you next week when we play our sort of special episode, and we try to beat this mission when everything can go as well as it possibly can. And get our revenge. Isn't that right, kitty? Yep. Okay. So, see you next time on Wheel of Games. Bye-bye.